This is racism, right? It gets blown up into, oh, they're going after Caitlin Clark, but no, we're just playing one of the best players that's in this league.
We saw what happened last year. Caitlin Clark was targeted.
Like, that's been a part of the game. The game has always been physical.
I know what physical basketball looks like.
The WNBA is buzzing after Natasha Cloud's bold criticism of Caitlin Clark, going beyond mere critique to a full-on attack. This fierce exchange has ignited a firestorm online, with reactions pouring in from fans and players alike, sparking heated discussions across social media platforms. The situation is rapidly escalating.
What was your reaction to some of the new viewers and fans to the game thinking that the WNBA was too rough?
You see my tooth knocked out?
Yeah,
Rookie season, Jewel Lloyd. It's just a part of the game. So there was no targeting, there was no nothing.
Picture enduring constant shoves, elbows, and disrespect on the court week after week, only to be told that it's simply part of the game. How frustrating and disheartening.
The white lady entered the league and started shutting y'all's asses up. She started knocking them down.
That's precisely what Caitlin Clark is experiencing. Recently, Natasha Cloud crossed a line with a racially charged outburst that has enraged fans. However, the reality is that every time Caitlin is pushed down, she rises even stronger. The fans recognize her resilience, the league acknowledges it, and today, Natasha Cloud is discovering just how tough Caitlin truly is.
Natasha Cloud has come out and said the new fans that have come into the league, a lot of them are racist.
In this video, we'll analyze Natasha Cloud's controversial remarks, which are being labeled as one of the most divisive statements in WNBA history. We'll also explore how Caitlin Clark has managed to turn the situation around without uttering a single word. It's important to note that Natasha Cloud didn't simply critique Caitlin's performance. She aimed criticism directly at her identity.
So she went on with fellow racist Ryan Clark on the pivot, talking about how racist we are. They can't see over their own hate.
She undermined Caitlin's influence and escalated the disrespect with her comment, "This is a black league." This statement ignited significant backlash and raised questions about inclusivity in the sport.
By the end of the first year, y'all all look like fools. The rookie made the all-WNBA team, but y'all got reality checked, and these players are mad. They wanted to grow the league as long as the league were a bunch of woke activists.
This issue goes to the heart of the league's culture, as Natasha highlighted a perceived disrespect toward it. Instead of engaging in substantive basketball discussions around fouls, hits, or fairness, she chose to diminish Caitlin's influence by framing her as an outsider due to her race. This perspective shifts the focus away from basketball itself and into identity politics, sparking significant debate.
The vets are going after certain players. It's all bullshit.
I know what physical basketball looks like, and I know that what I saw on Caitlin Clark last year was not physical basketball, it was target.
Rather than discussing skill or competition, she positioned the conversation around Caitlin's sense of belonging, solely based on her identity. This approach sidesteps meaningful dialogue about the game and instead emphasizes exclusion rather than merit.
Natasha Cloud hates Sophie Cunningham for voting for Trump. She hates America.
I tried to have open dialogue. I tried to have hard dialogue with her. And it is what it is. What you vote for this election, we gonna see. But my life depends on it. And if that don't matter to you, you can't tell someone you love them and then vote against their life. Period.
The WNBA is in urgent need of growth, seeking increased media attention, ticket sales, and dedicated fans. When a player like Caitlin Clark emerges, shattering viewership records and attracting audiences, others like Natasha respond by casting shade and trying to gatekeep the league, as if it were a private club. Natasha claims Caitlin disrespects the culture, but what's respectful about consistently elbowing her, trash-talking, and mocking after every hit?
Just because y'all are used to playing prison ball for decades doesn't mean it's ethical basketball. No one was watching, so no one cared. Now the world is watching the WNBA, and the new viewers are calling out unethical hoops. It's not racism. It's an unbearable product that needs to change. The players need to be better. The referees need to be better.
When Caitlin refrains from reacting, clapping back, or complaining, she continues to face criticism for not conforming. What, then, is her actual flaw, aside from achieving success? It raises the question of whether success itself is the real issue.
It almost felt like marketers were trying to figure out, like, yeah, we have all of these amazing players and these amazing personalities, but can we push the demographic? And then when Caitlin Clark got to the league, the Angel Reeses got to the league, and they might have been fouled hard. The same thing I saw happen with Shamika Holtzclaw, though.
You see my tooth knocked out?
Yeah,
Rookie season, Jewel Lloyd. My tooth knocked out. I still didn't get it fixed.
So how do you
It's cool.
T-Clock, how do you feel about the fact that all of a sudden it was, oh, it's too physical, oh, they're going at them because they're stars? What was your reaction to some of the new viewers and fans to the game thinking that the WNBA was too rough?
It was a crazy season because we have never had so much momentum behind our league, so much support, demand, viewership, all that, accessibility. But the craziness that came with the new fandom was rooted in something other than fandom, right? And I think that's very evident to see across the board. In a lot of ways, it has not been about basketball. Like, we can talk about, you know, people getting fouled. I just showed you my tooth getting knocked out. Like, that's been a part of the game. The game has always been physical. I can tell you the amount of times I've left with bloody lips and eyes. I have bruises all over my body, even from the game last night. You can see bruises on my elbow from last night. Like, it's just a part of the game. So there was no targeting. There was no nothing.
Right.
That narrative that got spun into, oh, the vets hate the rookies hate the vets are going after certain players. It's all bullshit. Like, if I'm just gonna be frank, like, it's all bullshit. What it is racism, right? It gets blown up into, oh, they're going after Caitlin Clark, but no, we're just playing one of the best players that's in this league the way that any other best player, franchise player is gonna get played. Watch how Stewie gets played, watch how Asia gets played, watch how Enrique gets played, watch how Khalid gets played. Go down the list of franchise players for every team. They be getting fucked up every game. It don't matter what position you are, what color you are, what school you came out of. This is how we feed our families. Our job is to go and win, and if we don't win, what happens? We get fired. We lose our jobs. So
Facts. Caitlin Clark is getting mauled, no calls. Ryan Clark is a clout chaser that stinks at sports commentary. His co-hosts aren't worth mentioning. Natasha Cloud, a.k.a. Natasha Clown, is running the race baiting media because she's average at best in the W, and now she's stuck in Connecticut because she stinks.
Fans are not naive. They quickly saw through Natasha's remarks, igniting a wave of social media responses that labeled her comments as divisive, bitter, and downright jealous. Even neutral spectators, previously indifferent, have started to defend Caitlin, frustrated by the unwarranted targeting of a young woman merely existing in a space she has rightfully earned. Natasha Cloud may have aimed to make a statement, but she instead revealed how some players feel threatened by Caitlin's success. Instead of rising to the occasion, they resort to tearing her down. Each time Caitlin Clark is shoved to the floor, blindsided by an elbow, or hit with a flagrant foul, the defenders dismiss it as part of the game. This excuse has become a recurring narrative, sounding almost scripted. For instance, Kennedy Carter's blindside body check wasn't just part of the game, it was outright physical assault. The crowd gasped and social media erupted, yet ESPN analyst Monica McNutt framed it as simply how Black women play the game, downplaying it as culture and toughness. Meanwhile, Natasha Cloud insists Caitlin should toughen up, further perpetuating the narrative that discounts Caitlin's skill and success.
There have always been the dominant teams. There is UConn, there is South Carolina. I think that the fact that Caitlin Clark started on a team that did not have mind-blowing talent existing and brought that team to a championship really says something about you as a player. And when you are ranking players, you are ranking them as an individual unit rather than a team.
She's told she isn't ready for the intensity of the league, with no mention of the unnecessary hits or concern for her safety. Instead, there's a relentless narrative insisting she must adjust. But let's flip the script. What if a white player elbowed a black rookie and then mocked her, with the media labeling it grit? Would that be acceptable? Would the silence hold? Absolutely not. There would be widespread outrage, panel discussions, trending hashtags, and likely suspensions. Yet through all this, Caitlin Clark keeps her composure. She doesn't complain, plead for fouls, or engage in the trash talk. She remains focused and determined, rising above the negativity directed at her.
Association, they gave us a gym that I paid for, not entirely, but they took money out of my check and I paid for it.
You better get the fucking full usage of that.
Man, I got hot tub, cold tub, weight room, full court basketball room. I walk in today, I'm on one side working out, Caitlin Clark on the other side.
Really?
I look at myself, there you go, two fucking legends, Patty.
Did you say
Right.
what's up?
You know I say what's up, but I'm not the type to say what's up to interrupt your workout because I don't like people to interrupt mine. She can shoot the shit out of it.
And the WNBA assist leader this past year.
She can shoot the shit out the ball.
She's a great shooter.
And she's one of those workout people, got to think, anytime I hit the court, I got to hit that bike. I'm older now, so I got to get on that bike and stroll for a couple 5, 6, 7 minutes. So while I'm strolling through the park, I'm looking at her shoot it. And she's one of those shooters where if you know as a gym rat, you guys know, like, damn, bro, why you throw that pass bad? Give me the ball in my chest. I'm like, oh, she's a gangster also.
She's lighting people up.
Throw me the ball the way I want it.
What drill was it? What drill was she running?
I don't know. She was doing a 2 in a row corner wing. And if you miss, you have to go back to the next spot. And if you missed again, you have to go back to the starting spot. She had a nice drill. I'm literally still in it.
That's nice.
And she was shooting the shit out of it.
Of course she was.
Right. So she was shooting the shit out of it. And
she's the face of the league.
Agreed.
She's the face of the league. Agreed.
Caitlin takes the hits and continues to play, all while her critics twist the narrative to paint her as the problem, suggesting that her presence in the league is somehow disrespectful. This is absurd, considering she's attracting millions of viewers to a sport that has struggled for decades to gain attention. Physical play is intrinsic to basketball, but cheap shots, targeted bullying, and off-ball violence are not part of the game. They reveal jealousy in action. When influential figures like Monica and Natasha downplay such incidents as normal, they set a troubling precedent that undermines the sport itself.
A lot of times, you as an individual can really raise that team up and bring them to a championship. Breanna Stewart, who was ranked #1 in the top college basketball players of all time, but if she would have been on an Iowa team, would she have been able to win that championship also?
They're sending a clear message to young players, particularly white players. If you become too successful or too popular, don't expect protection. Expect punishment. This isn't just detrimental for Caitlin, it's harmful for the entire league. The public is beginning to see through the smoke and mirrors, as reflected in the rising ratings. Fans from all over, both new and seasoned, are rallying around Caitlin, not because she's flawless, but because they recognize when someone is being unfairly targeted. The average fan isn't concerned about race, gatekeeping, or outdated grudges. They simply want to witness great basketball. Right now, Caitlin Clark embodies that. She doesn't retaliate or engage in back-and-forth banter, nor does she play the victim. Instead, she dazzles on the court with her pinpoint passes, long-range threes, and record-breaking performances. She consistently shows up, performs, and keeps the league thriving while her critics are mired in petty drama on the sideline. This isn't simply part of the game. It's a calculated campaign to undermine someone who's already contributing more to the WNBA than many established players combined. The more opponents try to break her, the stronger the support for her becomes. Everyone loves an underdog, especially one who withstands the pressures trying to bring her down. Let's be clear, Caitlin Clark isn't being targeted for being disrespectful. She's not facing physicality due to any perceived weakness, and she's certainly not being shoved for a lack of understanding about the culture. The truth is stark and simple. She's a threat to outdated narratives, power dynamics, and players who have lingered in the league without making the same impact she has in just a handful of games.
The Mist, which is Breanna Stewart's team, is the second to worst team in Unrivaled. And Breanna Stewart, with her talent, with her just winning a championship WNBA ring on the Liberty, did not raise that team to any high level in Unrivaled herself.
Before Caitlin Clark even set foot on a WNBA court, ticket sales for Indiana Fever road games soared. Her jersey sold out within hours, and clips of her performances accumulated millions of views. ESPN even moved WNBA games to primetime slots because of her allure. She's not just a player, she's a walking spotlight. That kind of attention can make others feel exposed. In fact, some WNBA teams played in nearly empty arenas just last season, while others are now upgrading to larger venues to accommodate the Caitlin Clark effect. This shift must sting for veterans who have toiled for years with minimal recognition. Instead of embracing the momentum she brings, some players disguise their jealousy as cultural protection, claiming she isn't one of them or hasn't earned her place. Let's be clear, it's not about culture, it's about control. For years, the WNBA has been shaped by a close-knit group of players who dictated the tone and narrative, accustomed to receiving praise regardless of their performance. Now here comes a young woman from Iowa, far from a basketball powerhouse or the so-called in crowd, and she's suddenly the face of the league. This development threatens the identity, comfort zone, and perceived status of those who have been established for years.
And their ranking is that Breanna Stewart is the #1 best college basketball player of all time. The #2 best basketball player is Candace Parker. And then they have Diana Taurasi. And then they have Maya Moore. And then in that 5th slot, they slot in Cheryl Miller.
The media, particularly voices aligned with the WNBA, often stoke these tensions. Just observe how they talk about Caitlin Clark. For every foul she endures, they say she should toughen up. Every shove she receives is dismissed as just part of the game. And whenever she delivers a highlight, it's branded as overhyped. The very outlets that spent years pleading for fans to pay attention to the WNBA now express frustration that millions are finally tuning in, all because it doesn't align with their notion of the right kind of attention. This is not about diversity, equity, and inclusion or identity politics. It's simply raw basketball talent colliding with mainstream appeal. Such organic power is uncontrollable. Let's be clear, players like Aja Wilson, Angel Reese, and Breanna Stewart are all exceptional athletes, yet none have affected the league's visibility like Caitlin Clark. That isn't due to her race. It's because she's captivating. With shooting range reminiscent of Steph Curry, veteran-like court vision, and a humble Midwest demeanor, she resonates with fans across the country. She's not just good, she's relatable. You don't have to be a basketball aficionado to appreciate her game, you just have to love excellence. That's why the criticism stings so much. The players who critique her recognize her uniqueness. They see the crowd reactions, the flashing cameras, and the fans proudly sporting her jersey, which only amplifies their feelings of being overshadowed.
For somebody who went to a team like Iowa, who did not have championship experience, who did not have stars around her, and it is undeniable that there is one player that brought Iowa to the championship that raised everybody else up around her, and their name is Caitlin Clark.
So they lash out, and here lies the most disappointing aspect. Where is the WNBA leadership in all this? They should be safeguarding Caitlin not just because she's special, but because she's valuable. The WNBA finally has a mainstream figure who brings in revenue, headlines, and hope. Yet instead of protecting this asset, they sit idle as veterans body check her on national television and label her an outsider. That isn't leadership, it's sabotage. If the league continues down this path, allowing jealousy to overshadow growth, it risks implosion. Fans won't stick around to watch one of the brightest young stars in the world get bullied week after week. Sponsors are unlikely to invest in a product that allows its most marketable player to be harassed without consequences, and newcomers will depart as swiftly as they arrived. This issue transcends Caitlin. It's about whether the WNBA is ready to mature into a legitimate league or remain trapped in an echo chamber, focusing more on protecting fragile egos than on building a sustainable future. Caitlin Clark represents the spark the WNBA has longed for. Yet some players appear intent on extinguishing that flame because they weren't prepared for the heat. But no matter how many hits she endures or comments come her way, she's not backing down. And that's precisely why fans are drawn to her.
Here's the thing. Love Caitlin, love how she's transcended the game. I'm not going to go away from that. But in the open, we said, what makes a top 5 player? Winning. The only strike against Caitlin Clark is that she has not won a national championship. And that is the only thing that you can put against her, because the way she has dominated the record books when she was at Iowa was something you cannot duplicate. She's a 3-time NCAA scoring leader and assist leader, a true point guard for the people, 3-time All-American, 2-time Naismith Player of the Year, 2-time AP Player of the Year, all-time leading scorer. She broke the records of Kelsey Plum and Sabrina. Like, literally, there is nobody who has been such a front-facing name through a direct reflection of her skill set. But how can you be a top 5 player if you have not won a title?
It's a great point, which is why I agree with you.
Let's call it like it is. Caitlin Clark didn't step into the WNBA seeking special treatment. She entered ready to earn her stripes. Since then, she's showcased her poise, grace, and talent that undeniably signal generational greatness. Natasha Cloud may throw shade, and Monica McNutt might assert it's a game for black players, but no one, and I mean no one, can stop the momentum that's already building around her.
If you don't think that Caitlin Clark is one of the top 5 basketball players of all time, but for the simple reason of not winning a championship, I do have to disagree. Championships are definitely a team recognition. They are something that a team does together and accomplishes.
Caitlin Clark isn't merely playing the game, she's redefining it. She's drawing fans to the stands and putting the WNBA in the headlines. Each time someone tries to bring her down, she ascends even higher, not through talk, but by dominating on the court. If the league isn't careful, they risk squandering the greatest blessing they've ever had. But we, the fans, are aware of what's unfolding. We recognize the agenda, and we're not buying into it. Caitlin isn't just the future, she's the present. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed leaving a like and subscribing, more videos are on the screen now.